Should Kash Patel be sending out resumes?
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
you haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the number of...
It sounds like you appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
Welcome back. Listen closely to what is happening today, because the political ground is shifting right beneath us. At the center of it all, Donald Trump's former Department of Defense Chief of Staff, Kash Patel, and a bombshell ultimatum hanging over Chief Justice John Roberts regarding perjury and potential prison time.
Of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question.
We are watching a total constitutional meltdown in real time. This isn't just your standard beltway back and forth. This is Chief Justice John Roberts dropping the absolute hammer on Kash Patel. Patel thought he was untouchable, operating with the ultimate shield as a prominent MAGA enforcer. But now, the guy who has been at the center of so many controversies is caught in the crosshairs of massive legal scrutiny. And the highest court in the land is basically saying, "We see you, and we are coming for you." This is the ultimate institutional collision, folks. The establishment is fighting back, the loyalists are cornered, and the fallout from this judicial killshot is going to rattle Washington to its absolute core. Hit that subscribe button, because the swamp is boiling over, and we are going to cover every single second of it.
What I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know that you got a little upset and you put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday. But let's go through some of your failures. So before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you were already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe, I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacist, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe. And frankly, my colleagues have been real nice to you today, and I applaud them, but I don't have the same demeanor because I know that multiple colleagues on this side of the aisle have faced death threats. In fact, somebody tried to kill one of my colleagues. And frankly, I don't know if this FBI or under your leadership, if those people would have been caught. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. And I know my colleagues have tried to stress this, but I decided that I would maybe do it in a different way. Number one, I have a couple of UCs. Kim Buck, one of multiple Republicans receiving death threats for voting against Jim Jordan as House Speaker.
Without objection.
Another one, Republican lawmaker says she received death threats after voting against Jim Jordan in Speaker's race.
Without objection.
In addition, there was another one from another colleague who now is leaving Congress because they said that they were calling his wife anonymously and threatening her life to the extent that she ended up sleeping with a firearm.
Without objection.
Okay, so here's the deal. How are we supposed to have confidence when you're sitting up here telling the Senate yesterday that it will take you 14 years before you can get the FBI fully staffed to do their jobs. You're also now redirecting resources so that they can go and play ICE agents on the streets. You're getting rid of your most qualified people. And even when it came down to somebody that you consider to be a friend, you were posted up having some fancy dinner to the extent that you posted not only once erroneously, you posted twice erroneously as it relates to catching somebody, and then you want to go and say, let me take a victory lap, because honestly, if it wasn't for parents deciding that they were going to turn in their child, it seems like y'all wouldn't have got there, even though he literally confessed online. So I'm confused about what it is that the FBI is doing, except for trying to put on a show for the apprentice, or whatever you want to call him. The day after all of this took place, there was domestic terrorism that was taking place at HBCUs. They were targeted. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this? Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem. And honestly, I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're going to do anything about the white supremacy problem, the one that is leading to, as well as members of their community as they're worshiping in their churches.
This isn't just a fresh indictment dropping today. This is a newly uncovered bombshell ripped straight from the sealed archives of Jack Smith's now closed investigations into the 2020 election and classified documents. We just found out that the very man President Trump successfully installed as FBI director, one of his most fiercely loyal allies, Kash Patel, was secretly the subject of a massive, previously hidden criminal probe. We aren't talking about minor infractions here. We're talking about an investigation into potential obstruction of justice and witness tampering, heavyweight federal charges that come with serious prison time. The establishment essentially sat on this grenade, waiting for the exact moment Patel took over the world's premier law enforcement agency to weaponize these transcripts against him. Now, with Chief Justice John Roberts effectively bringing this perjury and prison ultimatum into the light, it is a calculated, full-blown institutional ambush. The swamp didn't just pack up and leave. They set a trap in the shadows, and this explosive revelation is their opening shot in a total war to take down Trump's top enforcer.
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
you haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce in the number of pedophiles.
It sounds like those appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
You're claiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article.
Director.
Keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
If the president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding child, anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in FBI resources through my redeployment, because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco need it.
Director, remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the
It's a simple
attorney's
question.
file.
Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
who
Did you
can
tell
be-
the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes
if you're
or
gonna
no,
mock?
Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't wanna
sounds
do
like
it?
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's
country,
name-
harbored in
Time,
your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you wanna
order, Mr.
work with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director,
Time
reclaiming my
belongs to the
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Question
Yes or no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it?
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have done that.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you've played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice. So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals in that book. You put me on that list at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering. 20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again.
to meet the muster in
Director,
their constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the
No.
audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to
of
borrow
forensic.
your
You can hear me?
terminology and call
I'm reclaiming
bullshit
my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my
It
time,
has been
Director.
a disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim your
Will you
time all
recuse
you
yourself?
want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you
You'll
give...
recuse yourself, Director.
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you
Mr. Chairman,
admonish the
point of-
witness not to insult members?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman,
the
just-
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts since the witness decided to interrupt him
And
continuously?
then the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure
Thank
he has
you.
time to do that.
My question
We'll
is,
continue.
will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The
No.
witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Look at the receipts, guys. We are talking about explicit, documented communications demanding that the Department of Justice literally manufacture investigations out of thin air to flip the narrative and weaponize the federal government. Patel's fingerprints are all over the digital forensics, coordinating directly with the highest levels of Trump's inner circle. For years, they tried to gaslight the public, but now the actual emails are fully unsealed and out in the wild. The establishment thought they could bury this in a sealed docket forever, but they severely underestimated what happens when the truth gets out. This is exactly why the system is in full-blown panic mode right now. They know we have the evidence, they know the American people are waking up, and they know Chief Justice John Roberts just put a ticking clock on this entire operation.
FBI Director Kash Patel appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee earlier today to defend his record. During that hearing, Patel clashed with Democratic senators who scrutinized his leadership and also faced questions about widespread firings within the FBI and convicted Jeffrey Epstein.
It's my time, not yours.
My
If you-
God.
If
You're
you
gonna
want to talk
lecture me
about,
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address
There should be a
your
unifying-
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not take
It is my
responsibility
time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making
time
a
is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time
tell-
is. You can't lecture me.
Republicans like Texas Senator Ted Cruz defended Patel's decision to assign FBI agents to immigration enforcement as President Trump expands his immigration crackdown. Patel will be back on Capitol Hill again tomorrow as he faces more questioning, this time on the House side.
And let me tell you, Folks, the mainstream media is absolutely panicking right now because they cannot spin this. They spent months telling you that this was all just a routine inquiry, just standard procedure from the DOJ. But Miller's documents prove it was a coordinated, top-down hit job from day one. You can practically hear the paper shredders working overtime in Washington as the swamp tries to cover its tracks, but the receipts are already out there and they are bulletproof. Chief Justice Roberts didn't just read the Riot Act. He laid down a constitutional hammer that has the entire establishment shaking in their designer boots. If a sitting FBI director can be caught red-handed manufacturing fake probes to target political enemies, what else have they been hiding from us? This isn't just about Patel anymore. This is about exposing the absolute rot at the core of our justice system, and the dominoes are only just starting to fall. So keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you share this video everywhere. The algorithm is trying to throttle it, and let's keep holding their feet to the fire.
FBI Director Kash Patel is testifying on Capitol Hill today. He is facing tough questions from Senate Judiciary Committee on his oversight of the agency. Topics of note include the handling of the Epstein case, recent firings at the FBI, and just minutes ago, the investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder.
How's the FBI working to find other potential accomplices, folks who may have known about the shooter's plans, folks who may have encouraged him? Any update on any of that?
So in terms of what we do for an interrogation perspective, we go and reach out to the family and community immediately. And we've conducted those investigations and interrogations with local law enforcement. And we're continuing to do that because those closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat, and for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is serve legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Now let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian. Nicole, thank you for joining us. What else are you learning from Patel's testimony so far?
Well, certainly that was probably one of the more notable exchanges and information that we gleaned from this hearing, because we know obviously that the suspect Tyler Robinson is set to be charged later today. In fact, I asked the FBI director on his way in if Robinson would face federal charges. He did not respond to that question, but you did hear him there telling lawmakers the latest with respect to these reports that CBS News has since confirmed that the suspect appeared to have confessed to that crime on that Discord chat. So, of course, lawmakers probing a little bit more about that. But look, keep in mind that this is an oversight hearing. It is very broad, so it is touching on not just the Charlie Kirk investigation, but certainly FBI Director Patel's handling of the agency overall. There's a lot of concern on the part of Democrats that a number of career officials have been purged over these last several months. Concerns from both Democrats and Republicans about the agency polarized politically under Patel's leadership, but then also you have Republicans like Chairman Grassley suggesting that there was politicization by the agency under the Biden administration. So there is a lot of back and forth, but overall, Director Patel has defended his handling of the agency, pointing to significant decreases in violent crime and homicides, also citing some of the work that the agency has done here in D.C. and other cities to try to bring crime rates down.
Yeah, Nicole, this is the first time Director Patel has appeared before the committee since his confirmation hearing earlier this year. You were in that room. So what is the tone like inside?
Well, it's quite civil, but also at times adversarial. Certainly when the director was in his confirmation hearing, it was very contentious. So I'm not sensing.
Think about it, folks. If he actually flips, we are talking about the absolute most explosive political betrayal of the century. This is the ultimate insider, a guy who knows exactly where every single body is buried in Washington, suddenly singing like a canary to the exact same establishment he swore to destroy, all just to save his own skin. You know, the DOJ prosecutors are practically salivating right now, dangling a sweetheart plea deal right in front of his face, begging him to hand over the 47th president on a silver platter. Will he hold the line, stay loyal, and take the fall for the movement? Or is pure self-preservation going to kick in the second he actually pictures himself wearing an orange jumpsuit for the next 20 years? The Swamp is betting everything that he breaks under the pressure, but I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below. Does Kash cave to the feds, or does he fight this rigged game all the way to the Supreme Court? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell right now, because the second this shoe drops, we are going live with all the breaking details.
Bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian. Nicole, thank you for joining us. What else are you learning from Patel's testimony so far?
Well, certainly that was probably one of the more notable exchanges and information that we gleaned from this hearing, because we know obviously that the suspect Tyler Robinson is set to be charged later today. In fact, I asked the FBI director on his way in if Robinson would face federal charges. He did not respond to that question, but you did hear him there telling lawmakers the latest with respect to these reports that CBS News has since confirmed that the suspect appeared to have confessed to that crime on that Discord chat. So, of course, lawmakers probing a little bit more about that. But look, keep in mind that this is an oversight hearing. It is very broad, so it is touching on not just the Charlie Kirk investigation, but certainly FBI Director Patel's handling of the agency overall. There's a lot of concern on the part of Democrats that a number of career officials have been purged over these last several months. Concerns from both Democrats and Republicans about the agency polarized politically under Patel's leadership, but then also you have Republicans like Chairman Grassley suggesting that there was politicization by the agency under the Biden administration. So there is a lot of back and forth, but overall, Director Patel has defended his handling of the agency, pointing to significant decreases in violent crime and homicides, also citing some of the work that the agency has done here in D.C. and other cities to try to bring crime rates down.
Yeah, Nicole, this is the first time Director Patel has appeared before the committee since his confirmation hearing earlier this year. You were in that room. So what is the tone like inside?
Well, it's quite civil, but also at times adversarial. Certainly when the director was in his confirmation hearing, it was very contentious. So I'm not sensing that same level of contention right now, although Democrats especially are certainly trying to ask some very pointed questions of the director, particularly, as I mentioned earlier, with respect to the purging of a number of career officials. You know, the director, for his part, is defending his handling of the agency, saying that he feels confident in the numbers that he has at the agency, some 36,000 employees at the FBI.
I can already hear the collective gasp across the aisle. Folks, imagine being Kash Patel right now, staring at the exact same DOJ playbook he thought he was tearing up. If he cuts a deal and turns state's evidence against the 47th president, it wouldn't just be the legal shocker of the decade, it would be an extinction-level event for the MAGA movement. The guy who practically wrote the book on crushing the deep state would literally become its crown jewel informant. You know, the establishment media would roll out the red carpet for him, they'd hand him $1 million book deal and a primetime cable slot faster than you can say plea bargain. But out here in the real world, his reputation with the base would be absolutely incinerated. He would go from the ultimate loyalist enforcer to the Benedict Arnold of our time in the blink of an eye. The pressure on this guy has to be astronomical right now. Every backroom power broker in DC is trying to squeeze him until he breaks. So what's it going to be? Does Patel stand firm, invoke his Fifth Amendment rights, and risk a rigged trial? Or does he pull the pin and blow the entire political landscape sky high? Drop your hottest takes in the comments below, hit that like button to keep this broadcast flying high in the algorithm, and stay tuned, because this Washington thriller is just getting started.